that he bought from John Gabriel that has no batteries. But right now we are joined by Tony Rio,
I guess,
who is sitting in the palatial Thunderstruck studio with us. I guess we'll call that
the back room.
But anyways, tell us a little bit about yourself, the band you're in, and
well, of course, Tony Rio and Relentless were based out of here in northeastern Ohio, and but we travel everywhere. I mean, we travel all the states around it, and of course, we got 3 albums of music under our belt now. The latest version of our album, we cut a new CD down in Nashville, Tennessee, of course, and now we're back here in Ohio. People can find us everywhere. We play a lot of shows.
How long has Tony Rio and Relentless been together? I saw you guys years ago before he was born. I hate to say it. My ex-wife actually became a pretty good fan of yours and wanted to see just every show you guys did. So how long have you guys been together?
That's awesome, man. We need fans like that. We need 1 million of them. The core of Relentless has been together over 10 years, man. Probably 12 years, I think. Around 12 years. We've been together for a while. So, my bass player, Paula Master's been with me probably since the inception. Our guitar player, Bob Andrews, and my co-writer and my singer-songwriter that works with me a lot, he's been with me 9 or 10 years. And now we do have some new members in the band. So we're still growing. We still play almost every weekend. We got a show.
We were talking outside there about you chasing the record down.
Oh, yeah, we're chasing the chalice, man. Still working on it. It takes forever. Seems like it takes forever.
How hard is it to find people to actually talk to that will give you that opportunity?
It's close to, I don't want to say impossible. It's not just who you know, it's who knows you. So when you travel a lot on the road, it's hard to meet those people. But when you're in Nashville and you're recording, it's just a network, sort of like DSM here, DeMarco School of Music. They're creating a network for people to meet people and talk to people. When you start to meet people, the right person hears you or sees you, or say you write a song that they like, they pass it on to the next person who passes on the next person. So we work with people in Nashville. We're working on that chalice, and we'll see what happens.
So how long have you been in the music business?
I've been in the music business about... Geez, that's a good question. I don't even know. It's been so long, I have no idea. It's been a long time, man. Over 10 years.
Most of the people are from, like, the 80s we've interviewed.
I'm not from the 80s. My band is a country band, so we do country, new country stuff. We write country music. We don't do a lot of rock music. But the guys in my band, some of them are from the 80s, but our band is not from the 80s, so we don't do a lot of rock stuff. We do country stuff.
It's made my iPod.
There you go.
I from doing this show for the few years that Anthony and I have been doing it.
Yeah.
To tell you how good these guys actually are, we've seen them live.
Thank you.
I
appreciate that. Thanks so much, man.
We have
a good time.
I take my iPod and I play songs from my friends. I says, "Is this a major artist or is this a local band?" Every time you guys stump them.
That's awesome.
Every time. I said, "No, this is just Tony Rio and Relentless. They play locally around here,
right? And
they're trying to make it big.
Yeah.
And
we're regional guys, man. We play all the states. We play all the shows, everything we can. We haven't been signed by a record label yet, and that's what I'm chasing.
So where does your music come from? Is that you that writes it? I mean, just when he said disturbing, one of his favorite songs is "She Looks Like an Angel, But She Farts Like a Man."
That song, we love that song. Everywhere we play that song, people they're not disgusted, but they're either offended or they're not. So it's either funny or it's offensive, okay? So, but, it's a tongue-in-cheek song, which actually my guitar player, Bob Andrews, wrote that song. And when I went to Nashville to cut this song, the producer looked at me and says, "Tony, are you really going to put this on the CD?" And I said, "Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?" He goes, "Okay." So we did it. Now, the funny thing is, we played that song. We started playing it live. We got such a response from it that that song got most airplay on every radio station across the country than any song that we've had play on the radio. And it was started on morning shows, and they thought it was funny to play it. Well, next thing you know, I'm doing interviews in California, in Florida, in Michigan. It was one of the songs that we had actually go across the country, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, and it's fun. It's just fun. But most of the songs, myself and Bob Andrews write, the last 2 albums before our third record, me and a guy named Tim DeArmond wrote that. He's a friend of mine. He lives down in Nashville now. He was my guitar player for years, but he's down there in Nashville now, so I don't get to see him as much anymore. Now this new album, I've got I brought in outside songwriters like Jeffrey Steele. Jeffrey Steele has wrote I can't tell you how many number one hits he's written, but I was able to get a hold of a few songs for him, and we put him on the new record. Dan Mitchell, who's also a producer, writer for Alabama and stuff like that. Like he wrote, if you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. And those guys gave me a shot, and they let me record in their studio, which is the biggest studio in Nashville.
Do you have a fiddle in the
talking
band?
with him. We just did actually. He just left. It's funny because everybody's got their ideas of how bands should be run or how many shows you should be doing. And some guys have families, they have day jobs, and when you play as much as we do, sometimes that puts a burden on them. So a lot of the guys like, look, Tony, I just can't do this many shows. I can't be on tour all the time. And we understand that. It's not that we're not friends, but they have other obligations. So.
Well, what is your favorite song that you have sang so far?
Boy, that's a loaded question. I don't know if I have a favorite song. I mean, I like so many, but I think on my CD, I think there's two of them. I don't really have a favorite. My favorite is probably Freewheelin', and then I wrote a song.
I like that one a lot.
That song rocks, and that song was written by Jeffrey Steele and Bart Altman, and those guys are in Nashville. But they write songs for everybody. Montgomery Gentry, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. You name it, Kenny Chesney, they write for all those guys. So we were fortunate enough to get some of those songs. But Freewheelin' is probably one of my favorites. And I wrote a song in there called "The Letter" with a friend of mine named David Newcomb, and I wrote that for my son. Because that's
I like that one.
That's one of my personal favorites. And Freewheelin' is probably one of my favorites. And of course, I'm in love. They're all great songs. It's just a song will strike a chord with a person, and if they like that song, they'll play it over and over and over again until they just wear it out.
When
That's great.
When we were talking, the "Farts Like a Woman" came out on the radio.
She looks like an angel, but she farts like a man. Yes, there you go.
When that came out on the radio, one of my friends heard it.
Yeah.
I found my new favorite song.
There you go.
I just don't know who it is.
Yeah, every time.
I do.
Sweet, dude. Thank you.
I will tell you, "One Life to Live" off of that first album.
I remember that song. Tim DeArmond wrote that song.
That was the song that I wore. I played that song 1,000 times.
You like that song?
I don't know why I related to it so well. It was one of them songs that struck a chord with me. That's an awesome song.
Oh, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. I haven't heard anybody mention anything from the first. I mean, that was 10 years ago when we released that first record. Then we released another one, and not being in Nashville, releasing stuff, you try to do on the road and get fans so that you get that attention. It didn't work with those two, so now we got a third one, and that caught some people's attention.
life to live. One bad decision can't start over again. One woman, one life to live. One woman, one life to live. One bad decision can't start over again. One woman, one life to live.
Being on the road, who are some of the acts that you have played with? I know I saw you
Oh my
open
gosh.
for Rick Springfield.
Yeah, we've done some rock acts, CCR. We've done Rick Springfield, of course. We've done shows with Toby Keith, Kenny Chesney, Gretchen Wilson, Keith Urban. We did some shows with Low Cash Cowboys. We did some shows with, oh gosh, you name it, we've done it. Diamond Rio. Everybody,
Wow.
anybody that's come through here, we've done shows with them. Everybody. It's funny, you know.
Wow.
Even on the road, we go on the road, we do shows with people like we do fairs and festivals. So, you know, we do big shows. We've opened or we've done shows with everybody. So it's pretty cool.
Now, being is that you've done this many shows
A lot.
with these big artists,
Yep.
big in front of big crowds.
Mhm.
What was the craziest thing that happened to you while on stage? The
I don't know.
funniest? Well, I mean, maybe even the most embarrassing.
When, man,
That's one of our loaded questions. That we
you know,
throw
it's
out
never a
there.
guy. It's always a girl, and she rips off her clothing. She throws it on stage. That's the hard part to deal with because sometimes you do shows and concerts. There's older people. It's not a big deal. You do a fair or a festival, and there's families and there's kids and stuff,
They're
and they
throwing their
throw that.
clothes.
What do you say? What do? You just kind of shove it under the rug. Nobody saw that, but whatever. And you show that. Those are the funniest things that happen. Those are the things that really you're like, oh man, what do you do about that? You know. So you just kind of blow it off and you keep going. Some shows are fun like that, but probably the largest. We did 2 large shows. One was with Toby Keith, and then we played the Cleveland Browns Stadium with Kenny Chesney back when we won. I think it was '09. We won Kenny Chesney's Next Big Star here.
Cool.
So we got to do a show with them and all the artists there at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, which was pretty cool. That opportunity was pretty awesome.
Cool. Al, Jeffrey, got any other questions? How do plug your Facebook? Plug your.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you
websites.
very much. Of course, we have a new website. If you go to TonyRioMusic.com, you can find our schedule. You can listen to some of our songs. You can see pictures. If you go to Facebook, just like the Tony Rio fan page. And then, of course, there's another page. It's my Tony Rio page. It's my personal page. So we try to manage both. We put pictures on both. So you can find our schedule anywhere. You can listen to our music anywhere. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on CD Baby, all that stuff. And we always have merch. We always have CDs at all the shows. So
You said new CD coming out. Is it out? Is it?
no, the
coming
latest
out?
one we have is titled Dance. That's been out for about a year now. So we're working on new music. We're writing all the time. But when you write so many songs, it's hard to decide which ones are going to go on the new record because you always think you're biased because, oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. But then you take it to industry professionals go, no, you don't want to put that one on the record. You don't want to put that one on the record. You don't want to. And sometimes you get a little tired of doing that stuff, but they know the business. So you kind of take their advice,
Thank you for bringing up the Dance because that was the one song like I said, I got it on my iPod and I
Sweet,
put it on
that's awesome.
shuffle. Put it on shuffle and we're driving around and it came on and Anthony says, "Wow, who's this?" I says, "That's Tony Rio." He says, "Whoa."
Wow, sweet. That's awesome. That's the one. Now, that's a song I didn't write. Jeffrey Steele wrote that song with Al Anderson, and I was fortunate enough to get that song. I thought, man, that's a hit. It's a great song. So we play it live every night when we play out, and people love it. Everybody loves it.
It's a really good song.
Thank you very much.
Rock song.
It's just a fun
rock
song.
Country song.
It's a fun
dance. It makes
song.
you
Yeah.
wanna move.
Get up and move.
Yeah.
Get out of your seat. It's a fun song. So,
All right. Well, I thank you for your time.
man, thanks you guys so much.
And
Anthony,
we
thank you so
finally
much.
got the track
Thank you.
down.
You
Tony Rio.
Look at that. You mean I tracked you boys down? Thank you guys.
We got it.
And I
we gotta
thank
give
John and I
Gabriel.
thank Freddie DeMarco and everything for having this today because it's pretty cool. Having a network of musicians and people is very, very important. And I haven't seen anybody do this yet, so hopefully this takes off for them. I'm really excited for them.
Wish him luck.
So thanks, you guys.
All right. Thank you very much.